Really late today. Really late today. Okay, sound works though, so that's good. Alrighty. Late today, yes. I'm a little late. This is how I feel. Technical difficulties today, and the technical difficulty, of course, was myself. It turns out if you don't hit snooze and you turn the alarm off instead, it doesn't know what you meant to do. And so there you go. So slept a little longer this afternoon. My sleep schedule is turned into poo. So that's that. Anyway, I'm Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach. YouTube.com/Coach Steve Money for further financial content. Just scroll down, answering your financial questions, stream, playlist. That is this show. And today is number 110. Music playlist. Added the Dave Cation song in there. Made a couple mistakes on it, but I thought it was fine to post. So that makes 10 Ramsey adjacent songs that are in that music playlist. So give those a listen. For example, of course, that's Dave Cation certainly deserves it. Dave Cation, time to get away. And you belong debt free. You belong debt free. And a couple other ones in there. So give those a listen if you are so inclined. And the Ramsey Show After Show playlist, there are how many? Oh, I put Dave Cation in the wrong playlist. I'll take that out later. That doesn't belong there. 379 Ramsey Show After shows. And another 56 views. Very nice. 56 there as well. Very nice. And that will be Tuesday and Thursday. I don't think I put it in the crawl below. I think it still has last week's. And of course, because I overslept, I didn't have time to change it before the stream. But we'll reiterate it during this show. Alrighty. Did I finish with my plugs? I think I did. All right, so let's get into the questions. Some ordinary world. That's a Duran Duran song. Some underscore ordinary 50818 or 5018. Roth or 401k. I have the option to take a lump sum from my pension benefit and roll over to Roth or 401k. I've seen from previous posts that it is a good idea to take the lump sum so that it can grow over the next 20 years till when I will be over at retirement age. My question is where to put the money. I have decent 401k, but I've never had a Roth IRA and don't know the advantages of Roth over 401k. ETA? I don't know what ETA means. It generally means estimated time of arrival is what it generally means. Let's see what the rest of the question says. More details. 20 years till normal retirement age. Already said that. So that's not more details. That's repeating details. Pension amount is $1,000 per month, starting at normal re-retirement. Is that supposed to be re-retirement or just regular retirement? I can take a lump sum of $49,000 now to put in 401k or IRA because the pension plan is moving to another company for management, not government employee. No insurance involved. Okay. And so, yeah, if they give you the opportunity to do that, you certainly should. Having 20 more years in the market, absolutely you do that. And so... because theoretically, so every 7 years it will double, so you get 3 doublings of it, about just about. In 21 years would be 3 doublings of it, And so that would be, you're at like around 50. So that would be, what would that be? 100,000. And then that would be 200,000. And then, and then 400,000. And so that would be the equivalent of 40 months, right? At 1,000 each, 400,000. No, 400 months. Yeah, that would give you, yeah, I think that's what he said. That would give you 400 months at 1,000, and so depending on how long you think you'll live after that, that would be better. And of course, you try to do more than just doubling it. You try to do more than the 10% return that an index would do. Let's see, but you said you have so that's pension benefit. But in addition, also has a decent 401k. So if the 401k is decent, that means it's at least making the 10% that the S&P 500 makes in the market average annually. And so if it's making more than 10%, you can just use those investments, the same investments that's in the 401k, or you just try to beat them. You get better managed funds that beat the index and whatever you have in your Roth IRA currently, if indeed that is beating the S&P 500 index average annually. And so yeah, that is the idea, that you put it in there. And you don't know, what did I say? Don't know the advantage of the Roth or the 401k. Okay, so the reason that you do Roth instead is because you do have to pay taxes on the contribution amount, but the contribution amount is going to be way less. Especially if you have 20 years in the market, it's going to be way less than the growth. Let me see if I did that correctly. Shall we? So we're going to do lump sum 49,000. Let's go to RamseySolutions.com, free tools, investment calculator, and we'll do 45. Doesn't matter, we just want to get the 20-year time period. 65. And we'll say no money investments because we just want to talk about that pension amount. And he said 49,000. And no contributions monthly. Not going to be adding to it. You definitely can add to it if you would like. And that would be the option to do that over. That would be in line to do that over putting it in the 401k, because you'll have to pay taxes on all that growth there. But so you certainly could add to that over that time. And so annual return, let's go with the 10% average. And of course, you should be making more than that with managed funds. And so let's see what that is. Yeah. And I think I said I think I overestimated 400,000. And so that 49,000 would turn into 359,000 in 20 years. And so, so that's, what is that, 359,000? And so if you just add maybe 100 a month to that, on top of that, and that takes you up to 435,000. So it can jump up really quickly. But again, the reason why you would do any of this is because of the tax-free growth. So the order of investing is, you do any company match first. And why do you do the match first? Because the match is 100% rate of return. You put in X amount and you get X amount of free money from the company to put in your retirement account. And so that is 100% rate of return. You cannot do better than that most times. Anywhere, unless you buy, Apple stock on the first day it comes out, but you never know on that. And so that's why we don't do single stocks, too volatile, too unpredictable. And so that's why we do managed mutual funds. I have Apple, but it's in mutual funds. So where were they? Did I finish with that? No. So match first, and then second Roth, because again, you want to pay taxes on the much lower amount, and also you want to pay taxes in retirement. lot of people will say, well, you don't pay taxes in retirement, you'll be in a lower tax bracket then. But that's like every year from the time of your, of your retirement until death, that you don't, every distribution you take out of there, you don't have to pay any taxes on it. And so that's the reason to do that, because that, let's go back here. I didn't erase it. Yeah, so for example, the initial balance is 49,000. The contributions you'll be making that you'll pay taxes on, just like it comes out of your check, just like anything else. Before you buy groceries, and it would come out of your check before you put it in your Roth IRA as well. And so that's a total of what, $73,000. So you want to pay taxes on $73,000, or you want to pay taxes on the growth amount, which is $362,000. Yeah, that's what I thought. Even if you are in a lower tax bracket, you still don't want to pay taxes on that much money. And of course, you do only have to pay taxes on what you withdraw, and you do have minimum distributions, RMDs, required minimum distributions. You do have that to deal with, that you have to withdraw X amount every 10 years or something like that. And so, but that's the reasoning behind that. What up, Anon? Anon had technical difficulties today. The technical difficulty was myself. This is the Ramsey Solutions homepage here, and a lot of people say, oh, I'm in debt, I shouldn't be spending money on Ramsey stuff. If you go to RamseySolutions.com, which is free, the website is free, and you click on products and you click on baby steps, 7 baby steps, this comes up here. And so you can follow this without spending 1 cent. And I got out of debt without spending 1 cent. The only money I've given Mr. Ramsey is for the financial coaching. But other than that, I did not do FPU until I led it myself. Alrighty, and that's the best way to do it. That way you get to do it for free. Alrighty, so quality classics. Promotion or loan payment insensitive. What? Promotion or loan payment insensitive? That sounds like just random word. Is this an AI question? Is AI asking questions? Because that sounds like random words to me. Let's see what it is. I recently was offered a promotion to a supervisory position. I applied and interviewed and was then offered. Great. Everything sounded great until I found out I would lose my loan repayment incentive that is applied to my current position. Student loan repayment, resulting in the salary being more with the promotion, but I would be taking home up $5K less a year due to losing. That would be losing, only one O in losing loan repayments. I also would lose my 4 to 10 schedule, returning to a 5 to 8 schedule. Oh, 4 out of 10 days working there, and then be 5 out of 8 days working at the other one. I think that's what that means. I want to take the new position, but I don't think it's the best move financially. Well, you're going down 5K a year. My loans would be paid, P-A-I-D, off in 5 years either way, but if I don't take the if I don't take the promotion, my employer will pay it all off. You didn't say how much it is either. I take it's on me until I reach that 5th year and apply for public student loan forgiveness, which I hope still exists then. Helpful thoughts. We don't know the future. We don't know what'll exist then. It's no telling. No telling. We may all be gone by then. Who knows? Who knows? And it's WH. H is which, like as in which one, which I hope soon is not a witch. Which is rides a broom. Halloween, scary. Let's see. Let's see if he gives more information here. How many? I don't know how many comments. Doesn't say on this particular page. Let's see. OP. Nope, no other comments by the original poster here to see, how much the student loans is and so forth. Um, so it's difficult to say, but generally, you took out the loans, you should pay them back yourself. But I mean, that's up to you. I mean, 5K a year isn't that crazy. You could make that up by doing some kind of side hustle, working very little extra per day, or like working on the weekends or something like that, doing some kind of side hustle. And so you could make that up and switch to and get the new promotion. Uh, or if you like your current job, you just stay where you are. So that, I mean, it has to be a you decision, ultimately. So, but that's the things that I would think about, like how much the loan is, how much your loan balance is on that. And apparently it is student loans because he says it right there. Promotion or loan payment insensitive. Again, I get it. It should have stopped right there. Promotion or loan payment. Maybe that would have been all right. I don't know what the insensitive part is here. So, I mean, maybe not English as a first language. We don't know. Quality classics. We don't know. If this is not the first language, this is fabulous. So apologies if it is, but if not, hashtag third grade should be able to spell those particular things. Reddit burner 234 charity 529 or pay off house. All right, well, let's see. This message for Dave directly, although I know it probably won't get to him. It definitely won't get to him. He's not a fan of the Reddit in general. And this is not run by Ramsey Solutions. This is run by fans. Reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey is where we are at. And we sort by new. And we go from the bottom so we don't lose any questions. Because I have run out of questions before. So I like to make sure I do all the questions that pop up here. Unless I don't want to. I skip certain ones every so often. But so Christians believe that you tithe off the top, which is 10% giving at the top. And so that would be your charity. A 529 is step 5. Pay off house is step 6. So yeah, if you're on those steps, you would be doing that. But if you're a Christian, you believe in the giving. Or if you're not a Christian, but you still want to help charity, if you have that in your budget, you can certainly do that. You get to make the budget. The idea generally, though, is to get through the baby steps as fast as possible. And that way you can get to step 7 and you won't have a mortgage payment and you won't be needing to save for kid college anymore. And then you'll have more income available to help build wealth. And that makes more money you can give away. The more money you make, the more you can give away. So yeah, Dave definitely will not get this question. Because he's not involved with this. This is fans that run this subreddit. Dave, not a big fan of the Reddit. Hey, so I've done a recast on my mortgage already this year. $150K to bring mortgage balance to $650K. Monthly payment at $4,800. I don't have any other debt other than one car. $350 a month. Well, you shouldn't have the house until you pay the car off. If you already have the house, when you discover Mr. Ramsey and said, "Oh, wait, you can do a thing where you don't have debt." So if you already had the house, you don't always have to sell it. So the problem is with a $650K mortgage balance, the household would have to be making, let's see, $650K would have to be making, see, divided by 2.5, brain not working today. Would that be 3? No, brain not working today. Let's do the Like I said, I was dead asleep 45 minutes ago. So give me a break on doing the backwards math. Divided by 2.5 equals 260, has to be making $260,000 a year to say that 650K is an okay mortgage. So you're probably doing it wrong. See what else? Just the other debt is the one car, 350 a month. So you would prioritize that. So you guess what? Right now you're not doing any of this. You're doing the charity. Again, if you're a Christian, tithing is the first line in the budget. And so, but as far as 529 pay off house, you don't do extra. You don't address kid college. You don't put extra on the house. You make the mortgage payment, obviously, so they don't take it away from you. But you don't put extra on the house. You are putting every extra cent onto paying off that car. So, I mean, to try to be asking Dave something directly without even glancing at the baby steps, then, I mean, that's kind of weird to me. But it happens all the time. The rest of our expenses on average month comes out 6 to 8K. Total spending about 10 to 12K per month. Let's see, does it say how much he makes per year? So that's 10 to K, 12, 10, so $120,000 of spending a month. Doesn't say how much he makes. And so again, that is going to have to be 200. Do I still have that up there? What was it? 260,000, I think, had to be in order to afford that kind of mortgage. So that's way too much mortgage. Let's see, I have 400K to play. Kids 2529s, that's college savings, are sponsored by the state. There's that kind of. There's also a national one called ESA, Educational Savings Account, in the United States. I have no idea about Canada or the bloody UK on that one. Let's see. They're already in a good spot to max out tax-free contributions this year with roll forwards to the next year available. Okay, 400K to play with. So if you have 400K cash, then my question, if you have 400K cash, why do you have a $350 a month car payment? That is dumb. I want to keep 100K for dry powder / savings. You wouldn't have extra savings other than the full emergency fund until you get to step 7. So you would have 529s for the kids completely taken care of and the house paid off before you invest more than the 15% of gross income. So let's see. From a morally just standpoint, I mean, you're the one that has to choose your own morals, my friend. But if you're a Christian and believe in tithing, that 10% is first in your budget line and it's not negotiable. So that is up to you morally. From the financial standpoint, the baby steps are not math based. The baby steps are behavior based to try to get you to quit doing this dumb stuff, like having 400K in savings and also on top of that having a $350 a month car payment. Dumb. Load up at 529s are basically pre-favorite. Nope. That would not be it. It's like I said, you have no idea about the baby steps apparently, and so you would follow the baby steps and give people. And people always call the show, and when you say, should I do A or B? Dave generally has a C, if not a D, E, and F option as well. Give most of it to charity because, regardless of reasons, I haven't in my career tithed yet a full 10%. Okay, and so this person is bringing up tithe, so I'm assuming you're a Christian and you believe in it. And so then that means you do that then. You are the one that gets to decide that. And for Christians, that's supposed to come off the top. That is the first budget line item. By the way, if I do that, I would get a nice tax refund. All right, but we don't do anything to get a nice tax refund. You do not want a large tax refund. If you are having a large tax refund every year, then you most likely are having too much taken out and you're giving the government a free loan for a year until they give it back to you in the form of a tax refund. So you need to adjust your withholding so you get the money during the year because you can do much better with it than the government will. Likely what I would do if I went with option C is open a donor sponsored fund. Okay. All right. And I mean, that's great. You can do that as well. And so this is all going to be up to you. But the first thing you would do, I mean, you can do the charity, but that's basically 10%. So if you want to take 10% off that 400K and start with that and give 40K to charity. And then what we're going to do with that 400K is walk it down. Well, you said 300K, so 30K to charity, I guess. But still, that would be, if you're supposed to do it first, that would be 40K to charity. And then you can still keep 100K, but that's too much emergency fund. You should be using that money to proceed on the baby steps. Do proceed. But the 300K then, you would wipe out that stupid, dumb car payment. And then that would put you where you are because that 100K emergency fund, that probably means you do have 6 months of expenses in that, probably more. And so you're doing it wrong. You're already investing. I think, didn't he say investing? My line of work is a pendulum. Another reason for the 100K buffer off the 400K. Wouldn't want to put the family in a bad spot, but also there's many struggling out there and we're judged on what we do and don't do. Sure, but you shouldn't worry about anybody's judgment except your own and the Lord, sir. So what is the right thing to do? What would you do, Dave? Again, Dave likely not seeing this ever. But yeah, so like I said, you would give the $40,000 off the top. Like I said, you should not have even had that 400K extra in savings. If it's like some kind of bonus or inheritance or something like that, then okay, fine. And so you just recently got it. We'll pretend that that's it. And so yeah, you would give 10% off the top of that. And then you would pay off that dumb car, but then you would be on baby steps 4, 5, and 6. And I'm assuming investing already. And so if you're investing and you already are addressing kid college, you don't need to take that care of that all in one year. You can just keep contributing to that a little bit each month or per year, however, whatever increment you want to do per paycheck is best because that way you get the most growth out of it, the same as investing. And you put anything extra onto the mortgage. Which again, unless you're making 260, that's too much mortgage, dog. Hey, look, follow the baby steps. Let's walk through it. Exactly. Table legends know what up. Answered the first guy that answered. Cool. Responded to rather the OP. Okay, here we go. The interest rate on the car is lower than. Yeah, we don't care about that. Dave don't care about that. But understand the logic/rules Dave outlines. Obviously, you don't. Why do you specifically want Dave to answer something when you know what he would answer? I don't know why people do that. That is so dumb to me. All right, so anyway, don't qualify for a Roth anymore, but my 401k Roth via work is maxed out for 2024. Okay, that's also doing it wrong. You don't do that. You do 15% of gross income. And you also do address steps 5 and 6, meaning some to kid college and paying off the mortgage early and not recasting it. Let's see. So this is answering my question. 529s come before paying off the mortgage in Dave's steps. Yes, but it doesn't mean step 5 being before step 6 doesn't mean if you think college is going to cost $300,000 at the time your kid wants to go to college, that doesn't mean you have $300,000 in the child's college account. 529 ESA, or even if you're just putting it in a high yield savings account, that doesn't mean you have all $300,000 before you start to pay extra money on the house, because you do steps 4, 5, and 6 all at the same time. And apparently Dave has to add that in even on his page. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say do steps 1, 2, and 3 one at a time without doing higher steps. That's why I put it right here on the, well, no, you're not seeing it in the right order, but in my crawl, pay attention to the crawl down at the bottom, I put it down there. It's 1, 2, 3 in order, one at a time, without doing higher steps. So you're not investing in step 1. You're not investing. You're not paying extra on debt. You're not saving. Again, you don't save more than $1,000 until the debt is gone. It's step 1, check, then move on. Step 2, check, and then move on. And step 3, check, and then move on. And then you're not saving for a down payment, which is step 3B. You're not investing until that moment after you have that full emergency fund. But steps 4, 5, and 6 are all at the same time. That means the debt snowball that you were using, and then emergency fund snowball, I guess we could call it. After you pay off all your debt using the debt snowball, that snowball amount starts going to things that you are keeping. For example, your emergency fund, your retirement account, etc., etc. So you would take the extra money of that snowball that does still exist. Doesn't matter if you don't have debt, you do still have an extra amount after expenses are covered each month of your or each check after your paycheck, of your income. And so you would do the 15%, and if there's any bit left, then you do a little bit for kid college. Again, it doesn't have to be $300,000 or whatever you think college will cost them, whatever you want to have for them. It doesn't need to be all be in there until they are college age. So, I get it. If you have a genius, if you have a Sheldon Cooper on your hands, and he'll be going to college at 9 years old, that might be an issue for you. But if the child is not going to be going to college until 18 and the child is 10 years old now, you have 8 more years to save. So you don't need to have all that in advance before putting out extra on the home. So you could determine that, so in my example, he had 8 years, so you could take the $300,000 and divide it by the number of months over 8 years. 8 times 12 is 96, right? Yeah, 96. So divided by 96, and that's how much you have to put away each month for that. And you can factor in, it's in a 529 account, so that means it is invested. And so you can account for the average investing, and hopefully that too is making an average of 10% that the S&P 500 makes. So you don't have to have the full amount. So that's how you were also paying off the home early. So that's how you were doing steps 4, 5, and 6 at the same time. And a lot of people don't understand that, or you get the people that insist on trying to get a question answered by Dave, but they know how his program works here, and they're not doing it. They don't want to do it. I'm not going to pay off the car, but I understand the logic rules that Dave outlines. Why aren't you just going to do what you're going to do then? Why ask anybody? Let's see. So there's step 6. Come before paying off the mortgage. They do come before it, but you're doing all at the same time. Did the person say that here? Pay for car, set aside 3 to 6 months. 15 in retirement, start again on 529s, and then pay off house. But again, you're doing, you're doing retirement, 529s, and paying off extra on the house as well, all at the same time. This person did not explain this. And that apparently needs to be written there because people can't handle it. People can't figure it out. And the doing it all at the same time, that I get. But logically, if you see a list, you should assume step 1, check, and then move on to 2. And you're not trying to do all. Some people have tried to do all the baby steps at the same time. And that just makes it take longer. But what else was I looking for on this? No, nothing else. I think that's everything. Alrighty. So basically, you're doing it wrong, and you know you're doing it wrong. So I don't know what the answer is. I guess the answer is just that you do 4, 5, and 6. But if you're not gonna do step 2 in the right order, why would you care about doing 4, 5, and 6 in the right order? Illogical, Captain. Adventurous Ball 2328 housing. I found full-time employment again, and I'll be making $65K. I know it's still not as much as others are making right now, but this company has opportunity for growth. I have to stay on the West Coast though. Wiggy on the west side. Part of my question is if anyone lives in a Pacific Standard Time zone and is living comfortably, or know of an area where I can live comfortably earning $65,000. Not in California. I'm a California native. Yep, don't like Central California. That's great. I've been and lived near Portland. Portland expensive too. So you're doing it wrong. I'm thinking, looking around Washington State, possibly Reno, Nevada. You can check it out. Certainly, I have no debt. Baby step 3, flare. So yeah, you just have to look in those areas. Doesn't say why he has to stay on the West Coast. Maybe family there, wants to stay near family. Who knows what the reason is? But yeah, you would just look for cheaper options there. And yeah, 65, you know, on most of the West Coast, that's not going to cut it. And so have to live somewhere where it cuts it, or get income up. Again, Adventurers Ball, would it be a bad idea to buy right now? Is renting for a year the best option? Yeah, because you don't, if you're moving to a brand new area, you don't know if you will like it, or if, you know, if you move somewhere for a certain person, that might not work out either. And so you don't want to be stuck with having to sell a house. Or, like what most people think, oh, well, instead of getting rid of this mortgage, I'll just rent it out and they can pay my mortgage for me. And I'll be a landlord by default just because I'm moving. So, yeah, you would not do that. 2 questions in a row from Adventurers Ball 2028 there, excuse me. 2328. Baby step 4, flare. So, yeah, anywhere you move to, you want to rent for a year because you don't know if you'll like it there. Also, even if you do like the city, you may not like the particular neighborhood you're in. And so you don't want to buy a house there and be stuck in that neighborhood with a mortgage. Anime Theo, all right. Baby steps 4 through 6, flare. Roth IRA and 401k, how to best contribute. Hi guys, I'm 29, single and without kids and no plans to ever become a parent. It's my hard limit, even if I'm dating. Okay. I make without overtime 78k, but typically take home anywhere from 100 to 120k per year, depending on how much overtime I do. I also make around 22k from renter's income. Okay, good that you have no debt with the rental property. Let's say 55k divided into 2 CDs and 45k in the high yield savings account. I also have about 3k in regular checking account in case I need cash immediately because of a car breakdown or house fixture that can wait for the transfer. I only have mortgage payments. Shouldn't have mortgage payment on the rental house. That should be bought in cash. And so the advice is normally, unless you can pay off the mortgages quickly, the advice is to sell the one you're not living in, the rental, and put that money on paying off your residence. And then if you still want to be a landlord after that, then you save in cash to buy the house that will be, or the property that will be the rental. Let's see. Mortgage payments $1,900 with a 5.9 interest, which I'm 1 year into a 30. Did it prior to learning about Dave Ramsey. Yeah, obviously did all this stuff before that. But I mean, it's great that you're on step 4. That's a lot better than a lot of people are. Extra payments into it so I can pay my house off faster, though not killer lightning speed. Indeed. And the problem is the rental, you shouldn't be having 2 mortgages like that, and refinance if it makes sense. The refinancing is not the problem. Having the mortgage at all on the rental property is the problem. And I'll work with my dad, whom knows a lot more about this than I. So regards to 15% investing in retirement, how does it work in dividing between the Roths? It's through my agency, so I don't honestly know if that means a Roth IRA. That's probably a Roth 401k unless they are also doing your IRA, which some companies can, like your work can take care of opening a Roth IRA for you. But hopefully the best case scenario is that it's a Roth 401k. As Roth says, you can only put $7,000 a year. Right. That's in the Roth IRA. In a Roth 401k, you can put the $22,000 in. And this year it has gone up a little bit. Honestly, definitely be honest with me. Not sure if Roth IRA is through your employment. It can be. The same company can open you a Roth IRA, but we would be in addition to your 401k. Kind of now learning the lingo and keeping track. So apologies if it doesn't make sense. What doesn't make sense is your 2 mortgages. Do I hit Roth first, and then once it maxes, continue to traditional? Yes, matches first, and then Roth accounts, and then traditional account. I currently have in my prior job about $125K in 401K and a bit over 5K, technically 403B, but I believe it's basically the same thing, and you can roll them both over to Roth, to a Roth, but you would have to pay taxes on those amounts. In this current job, started recently, match 5%. My dad said to go 50-50, so I put 8. And what would be the reason for doing that? Roth 403B and 7 into traditional 403B. Luckily, I can adjust my retirements pretty quickly in general. As I'm reading this comments, I realize a Roth IRA is completely separate, so I'll spend tomorrow doing more research. Alrighty. So cool. Yep, the order is match first, because that's 100% return on investment. And then Roth, because that's tax-free growth, and then traditional. And so you would do those in order, getting to your 15% or your maximum on those accounts that you can contribute per year. Alrighty. 292-4838 asks, is there a smart way to buy a sports car in my 20s? Yeah, you pay cash for it, and it's not a new car. No new cars until you're a millionaire. No loans for anything except a house you live in. Fairly self-explanatory. If you watch a few minutes of the Ramsey show, you realize that, these people don't like debt. Looking to buy a sports car in 10 years, so that would make me 27. So just 17 now, just a baby, thinking ahead, as one does. Is there a smart way of going about this where I won't have to worry about not being able to buy and house, invest, and be able to support my family? That's why you pay cash. you set a budget for it, and that's cash, and that's all gone immediately. And the general advice is if you can't pay cash for it, you can't afford it anyway. If you have to do it on payments, you can't afford it. Current plan is to save 10% of my income over the course of 10 years. This allows room to save for a down payment, put money into my high yield savings account, invest in my retirement accounts. To be transparent, the car is a C8 Corvette, which would be excuse me, $1,000 by the time I would be paying for it 100% in cash. So that would be correct. You got to decide what's more important for you to be able to, family support your family, which you don't have yet. You definitely do want to invest. And if you want to buy a house, normally those would be priorities over having a sports car in your 20s. $55K a year. Not sucky, but also, not the best. How much will it be? 50,000 and you make 55,000 a year. That's a no. That's a no from Dave, dog. So you making 55,000 a year means your maximum amount of everything you own that has wheels and an engine in it. That amount should be 27,500, and that's the max. So that's a no. That's too much money to have tied up in a depreciating asset. And so that's a no from Dave Dog, and that's all opinions are welcome. Well, that was Dave's. And just happens I agree with him. How about that? The boss comparison today, Ramsey. True mention 4539. I am rewatching The Boss for the nth time. I don't know what that is. And I believe the opening 5 minutes is the profane version of... Oh, okay. I don't know what that is, though. Guilt-free wills on Ramsey Solutions. A good idea. Saw an ad for Ramsey Solution last will. $159 to prepare. Has anyone used this better option? I doubt mine is complicated, but literally better late than never. Indeed. That is done basically through, I think, Mama Bear legal funds. Mama Bear, is it Mama Bear legal something? I can't remember what it is. The website's Mama Bear, but I think like they just do it. Basically, you start the process on their website, I think. Well, let's just find out. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Let's do that. Let's do trusted services. Where's Wills? Will and power of attorney. There we go. Open link in new tab. And powered by legal forms. That's what it is. That was the F word. It's forms. Powered by Mama Bear legal forms. Yeah. So basically, Mama Bear legal forms is the one that's doing it to you, and they've been recommending those for years. But now they just have different options for you on there. And so these are simple ones. If you have an estate that is, vast and so forth, then you would probably want to go talk to a person in person to do this. But just for the simple stuff, Mama Bear legal forms can take care of it for you. But yeah, that's who they use, and they just have it integrated into the Ramsey Solutions website now. Fun times. Captain Skipster locked posts. I just have a question out of curiosity. Curiosity killed the cat, Jack. It's from Nightmare Before Christmas. I noticed that a lot of posts on the sub get locked pretty quickly. That certainly makes sense if there's a ton of disrespectful commenting. Yes. However, if there's thoughtful discussions around Dave principles, is that not allowed? It's up to the mods of this channel, the ones that run it. It's not run by Ramsey Solutions, so it just depends. I mean, sometimes it just gets back. It goes back and forth between people just calling themselves stupid or each other stupid and so forth. I don't know. I mean, some of the discussion around Dave's principles, they don't, like delete your comments if you say to do something that Dave would not say. They don't do that. By the way, I'm not a Dave hater. Facilitated over 200 people through FPU in our church. Fabulous. I do have some slight differences with his approach. I bet you do. And think circumstances are good, but not optical. Optimal, excuse me. Everybody wants to improve on things that have been proven for 30 years. Millions of documented success stories. Why are they doing that? All right. There's probably not much else on the rest of it. Let's see. Boom. I've learned through facilitating that respectable discussion from those trying to improve their money situation is helpful, informative, and really part of the Dave Ramsey experience. Yeah, but the mods of the forum, the subreddit, get to choose what posts they like. And again, if it gets too contentious, they decide to lock it. And you just need to accept that fact instead of understanding exactly why. They are not obligated to explain to you exactly why. So there you go. And so it's not. I don't think it's a free for all discussion. It's would be more so on here than say the Ramsey Show chat, where people love to do their freeform discussion there as well. When they think they're just like this person, even though he's facilitated over 200 people through FPU. So you're basically running FPU, but then you're changing some stuff for them. You're saying, well, Dave says this, but this is what you should do. And so that would you learn some humility, Mr. Church, is what I would think. But who knows? I don't know the exact details, so who knows? But I mean, changing, if you offer somebody a course, it should be that course like it is. And if you don't agree with everything in the course, then you don't do it. And like if your church agrees with everything, but you particularly don't, then you don't lead that course then. Again, 2924838. Ask a question before. Which one was that? Smart way to buy a sports car. Yep, 17-year-old. Too much time on his hands. Asking too many questions. Let's see. Should I sell my car? You just want to buy a Corvette? All over the place, sir. 17 years old and struggling with money. If you're struggling with money, then a $50,000 sports car is not going to help you, sir. You need to get your act together first. And of course, make a lot more money than a $50,000 car. Again, would require you to be making $100,000 a year. About a year ago, I bought my first car in old Jetta. Around April, I bought my second car. Why? Because I wanted a fun summer convertible. See, yeah. We don't want to wait. We don't want to wait for our dream car, apparently. Unfortunately, I wasn't making much money at the time. I had to take out a loan of $5,000, which I planned to pay over 3 years, but was hoping to pay sooner. Both cards are extremely unreliable, and EOS is a nightmare to fix. That's why you don't buy that when you're struggling with money. That's dumb. You know what? I know it's hard to do, but maybe you don't get every little thing that you want. So, and you shouldn't try to justify this. Well, this is a car, and it's worth this much, and whatever kind of justification you're doing, you don't do that. Around 70% of my income goes to my car, and I save over 25% of my income. That leaves 5% of your income. To do what? Besides my car, I don't spend money. I mean, that's your choice, but 70 of your income, that's, you shouldn't be investing until you get out of college debt-free if you're going, or trade school. You should just be piling up cash, but 70 is too much to go to a car. That is crazy. That is crazy. 17, the parent should still be stepping in on that. I would think. But, Sometimes you gotta let people fail, especially the kids, because they think they know best a lot of times. Super Snow 4241. Any advice, fam of 7? Hello, fam. With decent amount of income, but high debt and medical bills. All right. Baby steps in order. What else do we need here? Family of 7. Husband and I share 5 full-blooded children, and both were okay. And both work full time. Our total, it would be the same expenses if they weren't full-blooded. If they were mudbloods, perhaps, I guess is what the other option would be. It's from Harry Potter. Income 200 a year, 200K a year. About bonus time we expect based on past years of a lump sum around 20 to 40K. Mortgages around 220 per month. Balance $260,000 over 30 years fixed at 2.5. That should be a 15-year fixed. And so I think you'd still be okay because income at 200K, but you have other debt as well, so you shouldn't have bought a house to begin with if you had other debt. 17 to 1900 a month in groceries. That is 7 people. Everything has to be gluten free, and that is outrageously expensive. Why does everything have to be it? Is everybody allergic to gluten? We get grandparents help for childcare, so it's about $300 a week right now. Car payments around $1,000 a month. That's a no from Dave Dog. HELOC loan about $60K. That's a no from Dave Dog. And yeah, this is why you have high debt. You know why? Because you took out that amount of high debt. And then on top of that, you got the medical bills. We were doing fine and living very comfortably. And then when the last 6 months, well, that's how it happens. 2 of our children were diagnosed with different autoimmune diseases that caused our medical bills. Yep. Monthly payments for medication to skyrocket. About $1,000 a month, and suddenly we feel we aren't sure what to do. Probably sell that house. It depends on all the other numbers and what you can cut out, and if you buy gluten-free for only the 2 autoimmune, if that's who can't have the gluten. But work that out and only buy the gluten-free stuff for the particular people involved if it's that much more expensive. But yeah, I'm trying to search if there's any financial help available for parents of children with disabilities, but coming up short. I don't think there's not going to be really too many things that where you can sign up for something and they'll send you cash to pay for your overspending that you've done, and you're taking out too much debt. So yeah, so that's all the problem. So imagine if you didn't ever do the HELOC, and if you didn't buy this house while you had other debt. Imagine that. Then you would have cash to be able to take care of 2 children with autoimmune diseases. And so that is the reason why you don't do that. So you're not in that amount of case. And this is even the problem here is that he's in this situation. We're doing fine and living comfortably, but that was on a 30-year loan, and that makes the payment lower, more $2,200. So if it wasn't 30 years, it would probably be around $4,000, or high threes, like $3,700 or something. And so again, that keeps you from spending too much money. Dave's advice tries to keep you from buying too much house. And so yeah, you just got, the financial help, get your financial stuff in order, and if that means selling the house, that means selling the house. But the $4K in credit card debt, you should pay that off as soon as possible. That's your lowest debts. So that's baby step 2. So yeah, baby steps in order to make your life better. And that's going to involve some sacrificing, obviously. But you've made mistakes. And so including the 30-year mortgage. And that may be too much house. If you didn't have all the debt and the extra grocery expenses, a medical debt, and you didn't take out a HELOC, why did you take out a HELOC? For what? To pay off other debt, usually, is why. So you shouldn't have done that either. If it's for medical expenses that you got the HELOC loan out to pay for, you should have just done payments to the medical debt and not taken out the home equity line of credit, is what that is. So yeah, you doing it wrong. Unfortunate circumstance involving the children, but again, the problem is everything you're doing with money, you were doing incorrectly, and you were doing it. It's a false sense of living comfortably. You weren't. You just were, because you got the 30-year mortgage, which, by the way, also means so much more interest as well. So I don't know. It depends on what you can cut out of your budget, what you're spending on, as far as whether you can afford to stay in the house or not. But it may not be tenable any longer. Tenable means able to accomplish. Pixel Tweaker. Pay it off. Pay it off. Pay it off. Oh, that might be the new song. Just thought of it here live on Answering Your Financial Questions live stream. Just did a Taylor song though. Oh, you belong debt free. You belong debt free. That's in my music playlist. Give it a listen if you like. Not right now. You're watching my stream. You can watch it after this. I know what Dave would say. What are we doing here? What are you looking for? If you want to do something different than Dave says, why go on a Dave Ramsey subreddit and ask other people's opinions? Why not just do it? I don't understand people. People are very illogical. But I know what Dave would say, but I'm sitting here with enough cash. You can also stand while you have high yield savings accounts as well. You don't have to be sitting there. 4.6% about to send it to pay off a car loan. 2.2%. Yeah. Yep. And that's what you do. I have 2 years left to pay with a $6,000 balance. Dave would say the interest is irrelevant, but it's close to $300. $300 is going to change your life that much? If $300 is going to change your life that much, then you definitely need to do Dave's advice to the letter. I like having $300 and wouldn't give away $300. I get the peace of mind. You're not giving it away. You owe it anyway. You're just be paying it over time. You don't think the interest would have you paying it over like that? I mean, it's not a one-to-one between the high yield savings account and the car loan. It's not an offset of interest like that. So you would have to look and see how much interest you're paying per month one place and see how much you're doing at the other one, because it depends on the balance. So you might even be making a little bit more interest than that even. But the idea is to not have any debt. And if $300 means that much to you, I mean, granted, I wouldn't give away $300 either, but I also wouldn't have a freaking car loan. So if you get the peace of mind with no loans, then again, that's it. Why ask? Do what you want to do if you understand what Dave. I don't understand. You just want validation from somebody random on the internet that's doing it wrong as well. If that was what floats your boat, you get to do that. That's part of what the internet's for, I guess. Prompted me, and I get the peace of mind with no loans, and that's what prompted me to get a payoff amount. Why did you do that then? Because you already knew you were making more money in the high yield. You were making more interest on the high yield savings account amount than you were paying on the car loan interest per month. So you already knew that, but you still got why'd you get a payoff amount? even though you already knew it then, and want to make this transfer, but I hesitate when I see that doing nothing actually makes me money. Yeah, $300 over how much will that be? 2 years. $300 over 2 years. Which is not that much. Divided by 24 months. Not that much. Per month. It's our only debt left after our mortgage. My hope is to divert the car payment into our retirement to help get to 15%. We still have a 6-month emergency fund, and you shouldn't have that either while you have car debt. That's step 2. So you're doing it your own way. So again, why ask? Why not just do it your own way? So it's helping to get closer to the Ramsey way, but you don't care about that apparently. Ramsey way is costing me $300 to pay off a loan. Can someone help me make sense of this other than saying drink the Kool-Aid? Just drink the Kool-Aid. The $300 is your stupid tax for going into stupid debt anyway. Alrighty. So, but yeah, you don't have to get anybody. You don't have to fit what you're doing and what you want to do and what you're going to do regardless. You don't have to fit that in to Dave's advice. You don't have to do that. You can just do it. People always want validation or somebody to tell them it's okay. So, I mean, if you understand, the other person as well said, I understand Dave's logic, reasoning, etc., but I don't want to do that. So just don't do it. Well, I mean, you're gonna let somebody that you don't know on the internet, unlike Dave, 30 years experience, he's been doing the advice for 30 years, millions of documented success stories following this advice. And instead, you want somebody, instead of giving that any credence, you want some random person on the internet saying, yeah, man, keep that $300. Don't pay that loan off. So, I mean, that's fine. Internet is what you make of it. Window_pain933. What did you sacrifice to get out of debt? I want to hear stories. 14K in credit card debt and finally ready to start attacking it. I have a habit. My bad habits lead to you of shopping on Amazon and spending money I don't have in general. You're doing it wrong. So you got to get a hold of that first. So baby step 0. Part of that is where you decide, debt is stupid, and I'm not ever going to do that again, except maybe to buy a house that I live in. So that's part of baby step 0, and that's where you should start there, and get that taken care of in your mind before you even do baby step 1. Started a window business and want to buy a window. It's a nice window. In December, and went through a dry spell where I didn't win any bids for projects, so had to use my credit card to support myself. Or you could get a job somewhere else then if your business is not working well. But they said it has done pretty well since. So, but you have to have retained earnings to tide you over, not for a debit card. Not for a credit card. You don't use debt to help launch your business or to keep you going if the business is not doing well. You don't do that. You build business at the speed of cash. Let's see. And it looks like I'll be okay from here on out, but it's time to change my habits. Indeed. Hunker down and tackle the beast. Yep, you know what you got to do. I'm considering getting a job at a restaurant on weeknights to accelerate the process. Exactly. That is exactly what you should do. Approved. But thinking about making financial sacrifices for 2 years straight is intimidating. Tough. Do it. Do it. You talking about thinking about making financial sacrifices? You haven't been, which is why you are in this trouble. So, a lot of people ask that kind of thing. Like, you look at the baby steps here, and people are saying, Well, what is there? Is there no room for nuance in the baby steps? The nuance happened when you were racking up the dumb debt and making dumb financial decisions, buying too much car, buying too much house, that kind of thing. That was the nuance. How did the nuance work out? We read that part. Excuse me. Don't know if I can do it. I'd love to hear something. Well, that's on you. That can't be on anybody but you. If it's important to you, you will make yourself do it. If it's not, you won't. And you'll just keep spending on Amazon, which is the main problem. I mean, that's even a worse problem than if you're doing that debt with that, just spending money on Amazon that doesn't relate to anything doing with the business. I mean, that's even worse. You would think at least the business would have some stuff that other people might want to buy. Your like inventory and stuff there. The crap you buy on Amazon, who knows if anybody will buy it. Boom. Love to hear motivating stories of how you got out of debt, what you sacrificed, and how rewarding it has been for you. Yeah, well, that's the idea. You just don't do anything except non-necessities until you make up for your dumb, stupid mistakes. That's called stupid tax. And so let's see. He says, thanks. He or she says, thank you guys for all your stories. To those of you who give me advice, I appreciate it, but please share a personal story too. If you're to gloat about never being in debt as somebody already has, maybe find a different sub to post on. No, see, you can't do that. You can't come here on anywhere on the internet. You can't go anywhere on the other internet and think you're going to establish your little rules for what people can type. You can't do that. So you can't expect that to happen. What you can expect is somebody gloat about never being in debt. And that is, of course, the thing. And that also should be teaching for you to say, yeah, it would have been better if I didn't get in debt either. And so now I'm going to, and you can use that for motivation to fix that so you don't have any more debt now. So you get out of debt. So you could work at it like that. But, all that's up to you. But yeah, you don't get to make rules for the internet. So, and that's dumb as well. That's the same amount of stupidity for taking out the debt in the first place. Stupid. I was stupid as well. So, yeah, you just got to admit it. It was stupid. I'm going to fix it now. I mean, that was my motivation, to fix my stupidity. Ghastly Flea, breaking car payment in two. Breaking my heart in two. Is that a song or did I just make that up? Hello, hi guys. I'm wondering if it's better to pay a car payment in two halves instead of waiting for one big monthly payment. It depends on the agreement. Most of the time, I think that would, if you do half a payment, like every 2 weeks, instead of a full payment every month. First of all, that's going to give you extra because some months have 5 weeks in them instead of 4. And when that happens, then that would be an extra half payment faster, and that would be less interest. Now, if sometimes they have the interest built in already, and you're going to pay that much interest over the course of the loan, even if you pay it all off immediately. So it depends on that. But most times it would save you interest to pay it like that. And that's also why in investing, you do not, it's the same as in paying off stuff or investing, you do not wait to save up a lump sum for investing. You put in a little bit of money anytime you have a little bit of money. Like, for example, out of each paycheck, rather than saving up a lump sum of like $5,000 and then putting it in the market, because you're missing the growth on the little bits, on the $100, that you could put in every week maybe, or something like that. And you're missing all the growth on that. And so that's actually not as good as saving up $5,000 and then investing that. A lot of people are mistaken about that, and it works the same way on debt. You're paying more interest by doing lump sum payments. John TC 121. What to do with money from sale of our house? After all fees and remaining mortgage balance is paid, we are walking away with no. What is it? Just walk away, Renee. You won't see me following you back home. Walking away with 70K ish. Okay. Might be selling the house after all fees and remaining mortgage balance is paid. We're walking away with 70K ish. Maybe from selling a house. The house was our primary home. Yes, figured it out. For the last 4 years, do we need to save any money for taxes from this? Yeah, that's a net gain. So that's not free. So yes, you would need to save a little bit for taxes on that. So you want to save like 25% of it. 20K in cash savings, 15K in credit card debt, 85K in student loan debt, and 25K debt in a boat. I'm on a boat. If we don't have to save for any taxes, we would wipe out the credit card and the boat loan and around half of the student debt while maintaining 10K-ish in savings. Okay, so that depends on like how fast you can, if you can get out of debt before taxes would be due, then you can do that, because then you'd be able to pay a tax flow the taxes maybe. But if you want to be sure that you will have that tax money, then you should set that amount aside to be sure that you have it. So that depends on your life and what your life's like and how fast you can pay off debt. Should we go through just wiping out as much as we can with the proceeds of the house, or hang on to maybe a mix of it? You would use definitely this, all of the amount left, other than the, like I said, maybe 25% or so on as far as taxes on that 70K. Christian Healthcare Ministry, does anyone use CHM? From what I read, they have strict guidelines and you need to know exactly when and how to file to be covered. It seems super risky. What are your thoughts? You just read their stuff, what you can do before you sign up for them. Let's see, 37 comments, so maybe somebody that's been a member has responded. Affectionate Bath 733, help, credit card debt, made a huge mistake. Obviously, we all did. We all had credit card debt, most of us anyway. And hi, I realize now. Hi guys. I realize now I made a huge mistake enrolling in national debt relief. Yes. This, I mean, anything like this where it's not. So if you have debt, how you take care of it is you pay it off. You work more and pay it off. You send the payments and pay it off. Like even doing a loan consolidation is a no-no from Mr. Ramsey, because he calls it a consolidation. It's because you're just moving the money around and it makes you think you've done something. Just because you're no longer paying Visa, but you do still have to pay this other loan. And so you're just moving around, playing the shell game. It's a waste of time. Just pay off what you owe. And then they have these people like National Debt Relief. And guess what? That's not a government program. A lot of people think because it might have the word national in it, that doesn't mean it's a government program. And again, they're not trying to help you. They are trying to make money. And so a lot of times what those people do is they have you send them the money you would be paying to the debt, and then they keep that money and they let your debt be put into collections, and then later they settle that debt for pennies on the dollar. And so you can not pay your debt and let it go into collections all by yourself. You don't need to give a company however many thousands of dollars to do that. You don't have to pay them to do that. And a lot of people do that as well, that I'm just going to have them take care of it. A lot of people lose out by spending more money on vehicles or not getting as much for their car in a trade-in on a vehicle, just because when you do that at the dealership, they take care of all the paperwork and such. And so you lose out on money all the time by having somebody else do that paperwork, by having somebody else take care of it. And of course, the somebody else's, in this case, National Debt Relief, but also car dealerships, guess what? They are trying to make money. They're not in business to help people. They're trying to make money. Let's see. You've been on the program for a year and a half. I wonder if I'm stuck here. 3 cards enrolled. America. You can stop at any time. Enrolled at 11,805. Settled at 79.05, which would have been great, but fees exactly. Beep beep beep. Feed it NDR 2,800. I told you thousands of dollars. See, the fee is paid off again. Paid is not PAYED. It is PAID, and I have 33.08 left to pay off. Capital One enrolled at 9,851. Settled at 6,254. Fees 2,364. Yeah, exactly. So you see, it's not saving you any money. But I mean, you can stop, but you know, I mean, they may have X amount of fee that you owe them, even if you do stop. If you unenroll or whatever you can do, and nothing has been put towards the card. Yep. So guess what? You still have that debt. 9407 when enrolled for Chase and not been successful in their negotiations. Yeah, they're just letting it sit in collections and dealing with it than they want to. Again, that's why you don't do that. You do the stuff yourself. But I mean, you can see what the process is for getting out of it, and so forth. You may have signed up for paying those fees regardless. And so that is, again, not recommended. It's you do the work. You made the mistake. You need to fix it, not pay somebody else to fix it, because that's not saving you any money. Think it's going to save you money? No, it's not. They're not doing it out of the goodness of their heart. They're trying to make money. And they may not be any better than just any other type of collector. I can't sleep. Sammy Hammy 24. I paid off a mortgage today. Excellent. For the first time in my adult life, I have absolutely zero debt, period. It hasn't sunk in yet. I'm just so thrilled that I can't settled down to sleep. So flustered that he went past tense. So, but that's great. That's a much better problem to have than signing up for National Debt Relief. Absolutely. Sarah, here now. All right. House buying advice. I'm getting ready to buy a house. I have a 40% deposit. Approved. It's 10% for a home. Somebody on the Ramsey Show chat said she read an article on the Ramsey Solutions website that said 5 to 10%. I've never heard 5 ever on the show. Only 10%. 10% deposit for a first-time home buyer only. But if you put down less than 20%, you will have to pay PMI, private mortgage insurance. And that's not insurance for you, dog. That is insurance if you don't pay that loan. So you do have to pay that much in private mortgage insurance, PMI, until your house has a 20% equity position, meaning that you got the loan and then you paid, and the amount you paid on it has taken it up to where you actually own, free and clear, 20% of that particular house. Should I put it all into the house or split the deposit and buy 2 houses? No. Now, a second house is either a business, like a rental deal, or it is a toy if it's like a vacation house. And so those are bought 100% in cash. So you would put all of this into the one mortgage and you pay that off, and then you can save to buy another house in cash. Again, a second house as a toy, so that's just cash, and there's no mortgages on toys. Guinea Pass? Guinepas, that may be French or something. Selling house to rent and pay off debt. Okay, that is necessary sometimes, and that's the right thing to do. Sometimes. Here's the deal. Currently on a home with 3% interest rate, monthly payment 2035, 2027 square feet, 2227 square feet. We're welcoming baby number 1 in October. I have 41K in student loans. He has 15K in credit card debt. His solution. Okay. Sell our house and use a profit of approximately 120K to pay off our debt. Okay, rent for a few years. Rentals are currently 22,500 plus in nicer neighborhoods. Similar home to our current would be 28 to 3,200. My solution: create a budget and stick with it. We, my ass included, language, or you can say that on the radio. It's fine. Are spending a bunch of money. We are spending a bunch of money on fast food. He wasted money on gambling. Okay, so what this is, are you ready? The time for the 3 C's. This would be, when you have a spouse, guess what you have to do? You have to communicate, and that means you should be talking to him about this stuff more than you talk to Reddit about it. And then 2, you compromise. And if you can't do either of those 2 things, then the third C is counseling. And so that sounds, I mean, you have issues with him wasting money. And I mean, just the whole thing where you start with his solution. Let's see. And so he's trying to take care of it quick and doesn't want to change money habits. Likely. Credit budget, stick with it. Spending a lot of, so admits spending a lot of money on fast food, wasted money on gambling, and unnecessary payment. And most importantly, keep our home. We can always sell later, but I want to see some discipline on spending before doing something so drastic. And that's probably a good plan. Together we'll get our debt fast, but we can tackle the credit card debt first and work on student loans too while staying here. Any advice? If you can even afford, so let's see. Boop, 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 doo. Not even try to do the math this time. Let's do the bloody calculator. Shout out Windows calculator. What do we say here? Monthly payment. It just says the monthly payment. Okay, so 2035. The payment and divided by. Let's see, that's $814 a month times 12. Yeah, that can't be right. That math is not right. I'm trying to go backwards to see what the mortgage rate is. There's 120 profit on that. Let's see if a person says your husband's plan is terrible. After kid, fast food automatically comes down. Does it though? Giving up a sub 5% mortgage right now is stupid. This advice is stupid because you don't do that. If you shouldn't have a mortgage that high, then you need to sell it. It doesn't matter what the interest rate is. The interest rate rarely comes into play with the Ramsey advice. And Bum, bum, bum. Let's see. Dave would not recommend a HELOC. Absolutely, wouldn't. I just want to see what the income is. But I feel like for me, the and again, you don't just keep it because you have a lower interest rate than the current interest rate is. You do not do that. That is dumb. Don't know what the family income is, right? But that amount of money is completely manageable to pay off, theoretically. But again, you would have to know how much. I'm not seeing any comments from this. This is a lot of comments, so probably that's why. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything from the original poster on adding that. But that would be the thing to see if you can afford the mortgage amount, because it would be your approximately 2.5 percent is when you first got the mortgage. 2.5 times your yearly salary is the amount of mortgage that you can afford. So let's just see here. Monthly payment 2035. Yeah, I don't feel like trying to figure out what the what the mortgage amount would be, but basically it's their income, which they don't say what it is, but that income would have to be their income multiplied by 2.5 is the approximate value of the mortgage that they can take out, and only be at 25%. Otherwise, it's too much house, and people get around that a lot by getting a 30-year mortgage, which is also not advised. It lets you buy too much house, and so it just depends. So I can't say 100% for sure on this. It may be too much house for them, regardless of if it's cheap interest or not. You don't stay in a loan that is not benefiting you enough because it has a low interest rate. And interest rates are higher than that now. People are nutty, though, when they do that kind of math and think that you should do that. Oh, and some people think you never sell a house. That's why you have to, any house you move away from, you have to keep the mortgage on it and then become a landlord. Nope, that's not for anyone either. Clear assessment results. Everybody wants to know what they do the clear assessment, and then they want to see they want to see actual job recommendations. They don't want to do any work on their own. They don't want to figure out what this stuff means as far as a part of the job. They just want all the answers. And so I don't know either. Justice, compassion, discernment, advocating, protecting, advising. I would think maybe some kind of teaching or some kind of job where you help people. I would imagine mission of service, producing assistance and protection. Yeah. So that would be. That could be being a law enforcement officer. That could be. That could even be a financial advisor, advising them to not do stupid stuff. But on that, you have to be careful, because telling them to not do stupid stuff also includes not overspending with you to make you more money. So that's a thing there. So you gotta be careful with that. But yeah, I have no idea on exactly what it would be, and apparently the get clear assessment does not include, and this is what jobs you should get based on that. It doesn't include that. 300K down or invest. 40 a year. So invest is not lump sum. You invest when you start investing. You do it out of each paycheck. So let's see. 40-year-old man, no debt, looking to sell my current house. I'd have to sell. I have around 3,000 in 300. 300,000 in cash, $300,000. I will be building a new house on a lot I already own. It would be great to have a large portion of the build funded with this cash. It would be more than great. That would be the advice to do that. If I do this, I will end up with a mortgage for 200K. Yes. I pay off the new mortgage in 7 years. Great. And invest until I'm 65. Yep. 18 years after paying out the house. Ramsey approved. Exactly. And you're done. You're done there. You're done right there. It doesn't, none of this stuff matters. You're doing debt leverage by investing any of it. If I invested 300K now at 12% per year, take out a mortgage for the full 500K, yeah, that's debt leverage. And that's a no from Dave, dog, and me as well. So, I mean, right here you stop where it says Ramsey approved and you do what is Ramsey approved. You don't try to do anything different than that. And if you do want to do something different with that, do something different with it. Well, again, why do you need somebody to weigh in on that? Trying to get justification, trying to get validation. Decision precision, which savings account? I'll be receiving a partial inheritance of $15,000, which I would like to put in savings. Is it better to do a high yield savings CD or S&P 500? If you put it in the market, you have to have at least a 5-year time span when you will not need the money at all. I'm not educated in all the ins and outs of the different kinds of savings to make the best decision. I understand the gist, G-I-S-T, not G-E-S-T, of each and how the function. All right, maybe not American, but can't, or English. No, there's a lot of T's are in here, so can't be British either. But can't decide which one is best for a small amount of savings that I don't plan on touching for the next 2 years. 2 years, not enough time in the market, because the market could be down right at the end of that 2 years if you need that money in 2 years. So that's a no for that, dog. So that would be high yield savings would be the best, because then you can still get it if you need an emergency. If in an emergency, it can't be your emergency fund, because your emergency fund has to be immediately available. It has to be liquid cash. You can put in a high yield savings account, but you have to have immediate access to it, either debit card or check writing access, or both, to that high yield savings account if it's your emergency fund. If it's not your emergency fund, if it's extra on top of that, yeah, you can just throw it in the high yield savings. And use that with it. But that's the reasoning on that. The CD's locked in, and then it's a penalty if you take it out early. S&P 500, the penalty might be that the market is down the exact moment that you need that. All right, let's see. 2 days left of questions. We'll call it here. Going to be doing, I know I don't have it on the crawl. Before I say that, let's see. Answering your financial questions playlist. Ramsey adjacent songs on the music playlist. And of course, the Ramsey Show After Show. And there will be 2 more Ramsey Show After shows on this coming Tuesday and Thursday. I don't have that on because I overslept. I don't have that on the crawl down at the bottom. I'll have it on tomorrow's crawl. But that again will be Tuesday and Thursday of this coming week. And so gonna save some questions for that. May still run out, because I still got so that's right. I still got to do the answering your financial questions stream tomorrow as well. So yeah, so we'll call it here, and let's do the restart the plugs here. All right. Whoops. Didn't talk fast enough. Oh yeah, let's try this. I got this ready to go. Let's see if this works.
Write a check today and pay off the credit card and cut it up.
Even though it's stupid.
Nope, no sound. Okay, so I got to see why that doesn't have sound. Oh, I know why. Okay. Yeah, I didn't set it up for sound because I'm not doing any singing or anything like that today. So, but that's a clip from Dave saying something, and I will have that ready to go the next time that applies to the question that I'm answering. Okay. So I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach, and you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me at calendly.com/coachstevemoney. You can email me about coaching or anything else on my YouTube channel, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Donations can go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternatively, to Cash App, $CoachSteveMoney. Alternatively, again, a Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Upcoming streams, of course, tomorrow, every Saturday and Sunday, there's this Answering Your Financial Questions stream, and that is Saturdays and Sundays, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, unless I oversleep. And the Ramsey Show After Show, and these are the wrong dates on it, but it will be this coming Tuesday and Thursday, which is, I believe, which would be July 30th and August 1st. All right. Coming up on August now. Moving day getting here very fast. Alrighty, and there again is the explanation that some people need apparently in order to follow the baby steps correctly. Alright, what up, Aslan? Boom, boom, boom. What up, Magical Elixir? Taking forever to get out of 7K of debt. You gotta pay more money. You gotta spend less on other things. Just get things that you are not, only get necessary things, and anything else you put to debt. That's how you get it. I mean, you want a drastic change, you have to do something drastic. And so that means you deny yourself eating out or anything else you can cut out just temporarily. It's just a hashtag season while you pay that off. So I didn't look at the chat for a while, missed some people. So again, I need to, maybe I'll change that up for tomorrow. Try to get the chat into a better position for me to see it at the same time I'm looking at the questions, because you never know when there won't be anybody in chat and then all of a sudden there's a bunch of questions in there. That does happen. Alrighty, make smart financial decisions every day.